Hey, welcome back to the Slackware 15 reinstall project. Yes, that's once again I've deleted the wrong virtual machine from inside the file manager. It's in my 15.0 current was deleted, but I'm going to come back today. I'm actually going to install the official 15.0 release, and I'm going to show you how to update a couple packages like Firefox and Emacs. Be sure to stay tuned for that. Okay, so let's give it. Let's go 50, I guess. Let's pre-allocate the space. Let's do this. So I'm going to start the installation, then I'm going to come back and pick it up at the end, okay? You know, once you learn how to work with the mirror file and how to use a Slack package to query, to search and install or update a package, it's actually fairly easy to do, okay? Of course, we're also going to install Miniconda and what else? And Doom Emacs. And may Lord have mercy on our souls, okay? So let's start this. Hopefully within the next 5 years, Patrick Volkenheim will release Slackware 15.1 or 16, whatever he calls it, okay? I'll expand the screen here for us. Do this. Boot. Now, because I have 16 gigabytes of RAM, I'm not going to use a swap space. Okay. Besides that, it's a virtual machine. It's not a real swap, so it doesn't really make any difference how it, where the memory works with. At least in my opinion. Okay. As I'm sure I said it before, is that I started using Slackware Linux back in the late 90s, early 2000s. That's right, the last century, the last millennium. And the first time I installed it from floppy disk. And I had a friend who says, man, you got to try this out. I mean, there's all kinds of, there's compilers, there's languages, there's databases, there's mail servers, there's web servers, there's all in languages. All they say, man, you really got to try this stuff out. So I did. And BTFS, interesting. Okay, install from here. Now we're going to install most everything. The main thing we're not going to install is we're not going to install kernel source, because we shouldn't need to build any patches from any patch. We shouldn't need to compiling from source, because we're going to be downloading only the binary files from your favorite Slackware repo. Okay, so come down here. So let's just let this run for a few minutes. Then I'm going to pause the video and come back when it's time to configure it. Okay. Okay, welcome back to part 2 of the Slackware installation, or I should say reinstallation. The ongoing saga of me deleting the wrong virtual box. Okay, so now we're back to the configurations page. We're going to skip to Lilo. Simple. We want to do 10.768. No. Master boot record. Network, let's see. Slack. Patrick Volkenheim at no. Network manager, yes. Complete. Don't want to do anything down here. No. Use a hardware clock. Eastern. Root user detected. A strong and difficult password, as DT would say. Okay, exit. Reboot. And then next we'll log in as root, create a user account. Then in part 2 of this video, we'll update Emacs and install Doom Emacs, okay? In part 3, we'll download and install Miniconda, okay? And that should get you up and running with everything you need to do a Python development, okay? Whether, you know, in general and specifically get you up and running with everything you need to do data science and data analytics using Python, Pandas, and friends. Oh, of course, DuckDB and IBIS project, okay? Be sure to watch for those also. That could be a series to install DuckDB, all right? And IBIS, that could be a possibility. Of course, IBIS can be installed using Conda, okay? We also need to create a Conda, our base Conda environment under which we're going to put all of our projects, most of whom are stored on what's it stored on? Stored on GitHub and GitLab, okay? This should boot up here in a moment. There we go. Now supposedly the 4 penguins mean 4 processors, which is correct. My system has 8 processors. I gave 4 of it to Slackware, okay? So root 0 user Slacker users yes bash (790). A strong and complicated password, as DT would say. Slacker. As is traditional, we start our desktop or XSC desktop using the startx command. And we'll come over here. We're going to make a few desktop. Let's see. Doesn't really make any difference there. Close. Over here, settings again, desktop display. Do we want to go more than that? 1020, what's next? 1920 by 1024. Let's try this, apply. Try this again, display. Let's see, 1024 by 768. Let's jump up to apply, keep settings, a little smaller thing. Now I want to come up here, I want to go to a high contrast background. If I can find experience. This is a little odd, it's not the way it's supposed to be, but that's okay. So what do we do now? We're pretty much set up here. Yeah, like I say, that doesn't make any sense there, does it? That's supposed to be light, and that's why I chose contrast. So it's supposed to be able to see all, you can normally see all the things there. So let me see here. Anything else? Of course, Slackware doesn't really have a a rolling release. He doesn't release a lot of updates, if any at all. So he certainly doesn't issue an updated ISO. Okay, that's Patrick Volkenring, of course. Okay, so anyway, there you have it. We'll come back in the second video, and we'll update Emacs and install Doom Emacs. Okay.